What up, y'all, and welcome to Pocono Raceway for the second race in the 2022 NRSL Hankook Tyres V8 Supercar Challenge. On pole is Andrew Rich in a Mercedes. First time we've got a pole sitter driving a Merc. And to his outside is Richard Johnson. In row 2, we've got Alexander Rowe and Donovan Cage. Row 3, Sam Young and James Ellison. Row 4 is Laura Chung and Allison Liliera. And in row 5, Logan York and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Keith Rich is right there in row 6 next to Kev Shearer. Once again, I'm joined by Vince Freeze. We got 40 laps of action here around the Tricky Triangle. What's up?
Okay, no, baby. It's a interesting track. We got a Mercedes on pole, one of those foreign manufacturers that are known around the world. A Flickinger back there. He had a good run. Zorlin, last week's winner. He's in the back of the pack, but anything can happen with track position, pitch strategy. This is a race where the times are a little bit more similar on an oval. We have cautions on. I expect this race to be more, though, like you said at the top of the show, I think. It's going to become track position. And I don't know, man. I think the draft on the straights, where do you go? Mechanical grip is important at Pocono in the corners, but I think the straightaways will be a big teller as we do have those opening laps where draft matters.
Yeah, so we did not come to this track during season 1. Our big oval race was Michigan back in season 1. So should be interesting to see how that compares here. Pocono's a bit more of a road course oval, I like to say, what with its 3 different corners. And it's not even really an oval, it's a triangle. So going to be an interesting show, 3 different turns. Can Andrew Rich get it to victory lane for the first time for Mercedes? We saw Zorlin do it for Honda last week.
Drivers, start your engines.
So 40 laps of action with the overcast conditions once again. Expecting maybe a 2-stopper here. Could be 15 to 16 laps or so. But going to be an interesting one. Let's see how fast these cars can launch off the grid here this time. They were from about 45, 50 miles an hour to 150 in turn 1 at the Glen. I'm going to guess 180.
Green flag as we get underway. Great start by Rich.
And yes, indeed, 180, almost 190. As we've got the correct ticker up this week. The speed ticker is back for the first time since I want to say 2019 or so. So we will be using the speed ticker next year as well. Not going to see my boy Vince next year as much, but it's going to be a fun year nonetheless with the shorter schedules and whatnot. So looking forward to a good year regardless of how much Vince is on here or not.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's I accepted that, and I'm just gonna have fun with these last 7 races. And I gotta say, man, I forgot to mention this off the top. The grip strip. It is an interesting, unique line here. That grip strip could play a factor. As now, I think we'll see 210.
Alexander Rowe is hauling the mail here down the front straightaway. 215 into turn 1. Down to about $150. So Rowe is the early leader after starting in third. Andrew Rich in second. Richard Johnson third. Sam Young fourth. And Chung on his inside currently in fifth. 207 here into turn 2. See if they're going 200 here into turn 3. And they are just about. So hauling the mail they are. Chung up to 4th. Logan York will take 5th from Sam Young. Sam Young currently going down the running order. Keith Rich in 7th. Peter Onjak 8th. Ellison 9th. And Cage rounds out the top 10. So I think this will be a bit more of a calm race, Vince, and we'll see our comers and goers as the race progresses, as Richard Johnson is looking for second from Andrew Rich.
Yeah, I think comers and goers is typical of a place like Pocono. One thing is the off-throttle time. You're seeing it. They get off the gas pretty quick, but then they release back up to about 170. And you'll see it right here in turn 3. 200, maybe down to 160, and then they boom, back it around. That could help tire wear, believe it or not, and create more racing like you're seeing right now.
Logan York looking to move up to third. Just looking at this top 10, it goes Toyota, Mercedes, Honda, Chevy, Mercedes, Toyota, Ford, Ferrari. As Peter Onjak having a good day today here in 8th place. Got in that accident last week, had nowhere to go. Looking for a good run today. Let's go through the rest of the field here. Liliera up to 10th now over Donovan Cage. There you see Zach Flickinger, runner-up last week. Sorlin has made his way to the inside line. Currently 23rd. Seth Cole struggling early. And Lucas Catano struggling once again. Logan York, though, up to second place. We have not seen York win a race in the series on the channel since his 2019 Jerky Pro Truck Series title year.
Nothing to note, Zach. Red Bull Honda looking to keep the streak alive after Zorlin's win with York. We'll see if that happens as well.
Yes, indeed, as everyone chasing Alexander Rowe. Good run right now for Laura Chung as well in 4th place. As Rich looking under York for second.
The turn 3 there. I think it's still the draft, man. You can see the draft. Just having extra cars in line, that helps. As you can see, the slipstream effect really coming to play. Is a little proven fade there by Logan York.
Rich is going to utilize that outside line to hold off Chung's move for third. Liliera able to get a good run here on Keith Rich. Going to send it on Richard Johnson. Sam Young right behind her.
Yeah, underneath there, the 3.
Liliera will take the position. So far, no challenge to Alexander Rowe. See, tire wear is starting to kick in already about half a second. Fastest lap on the race belongs to Chung, a 50.752. As York is peeking the nose there into turn 1, but can't quite get there on Rowe.
Is Rich there just lurking?
We'll see how much the draft plays a factor here. York about 205. Yeah, about the same there for Rich.
Oh.
Now there's a bit of a move, bit of a shunt into turn 2. That'll send Logan York underneath Alexander Rowe for the race lead.
Now we saw this last week at the Glen, half a second. These cars are very draggy in the rear, and you can see Rich close up. Now where does Rich choose? I think he's going to stick with the 33 in the start, but then he'll go to the 11. It's a little drag race here.
You can see the draft really plays a factor too for these cars, especially when you get right up behind someone. So Rowe will clear York into turn 1. Actually, no, Rowe still to the outside. York sent it. We couldn't see because of that Air Force sign, but York takes the race lead.
You got a big run for a crossover there. Down the back, cutting into the tunnel turn. I think he'll make the move.
Rowe with a good run, as you said. Crossover into turn 2. Now they're side by side behind them. Andrew Rich going to hold on to third, but Liliera up there into the top 5. Now Richard Johnson looking to challenge back.
Look at that.
Rowe will send it in turn 3. Kev Shearer about making a 3-wide move behind him. Still side by side. Run down the straightaway for Logan York. So now Liliera and Andrew Rich are trying to figure out where they can go to try and take the lead for themselves.
Check up coming though.
Rowe will clear, but Liliera will have to check up. They're 3 wide behind them. Chung almost in a Mercedes sandwich. So back to Rowe in the lead. York in second, but York's going to send it. Rowe will give him the bottom again. They are really stacking up here behind them.
Yeah,
York.
these cars are very draggy, man, for sure.
York files in line. Liliera up to third. Chung looking for fourth on Andrew. Keith right behind. It's Jonathan Zorlin. Almost into the top 20. He is in the top 20. York making a move. Almost contact with Rowe. Liliera went with him. That's going to stack both of them up. That's going to give Chung an opportunity here. That's going to put some distance between Rowe and York. It's now Chung to the inside of Liliera. And Keith Rich to the inside of Father Andrew.
I think I'm noticing that because Logan York's got that drop through a tunnel turn. Look at this. In the 3, he's going to do another approved fade, back off a little bit, but try to scare him up the hill.
This racing here this weekend has been amazing. Looked like Rowe had a pretty good car, and once York got up here, has started fighting for the lead. It has really made things interesting. Meanwhile, Seth Cole looks like he has a terrible car. He is way at the back of the pack. And actually, we have a caution out on the racetrack.
Down on power.
Oh, there's been a huge wreck in turn 1.
Where's Seth? Seth!
Seth piles into Ace Rogers, and it is junk. James Ellison, Fitzwater, Rob Evans, Turner once again. Ace Rogers, Vince Freeze. And we are racing back to the caution.
Send it again.
York's going to send it. I think this time he'll clear Rowe. And that is the case. Will Liliera be able to get second?
Probably not. I think the run on the outside should do it.
And Rowe will hold on to second place for now, but a huge wreck here on lap 11. We were looking back at Seth Cole to see why he was off pace, and then next thing we know, caution was out, and there was a mess in turn 1. So with that said, let's take a look and see what just happened. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you tell me, does this look like payback from Audra Baranowskis to James Ellison? What a lick. Turner nowhere to go.
Oh,
Fitzwater gets creamed. It was just smoke screen here. Seth Cole comes piling in. That was vicious. And Audra not without damage. Lucas Catano, RJ Bishop. What did we just witness? Oh my gosh. We're going to have to take another look at this. Taking another look at this in slow motion from the helicopter camera. See if we can't figure out if this actually was payback from what happened to Audra when she was a lap down at the Glen. And she just kind of sent it a little bit and got into his right recorder panel, sent him around, and then vicious hit. Car just stopped when it hit the wall, and it spins both the 4 and the 7 out.
Fitzwater goes up there careening. Audra again. Now here comes this second pack.
Rob Evans and RJ Bishop had nowhere to go. You see Turner down the track there with Vince Freeze. Ace Rogers nowhere to go. Bradley Rima up against the wall. William Brock. Look at Hamill, Vargas squeaking by. Catano not as lucky. Hits his Dodge teammate. And we saw Seth Cole pile in after. Let's take some onboards. Let's go on board first with Sameta Oskin, who watches this wreck unfold in front of him and barely misses it. Look at that. He could have done nothing there except go down the track. Great avoidance by the 2020 champion. On board with Fitzwater. And you just see the 5 just whip around, and then, oh, heavy hits for Fitzy. Tough end of his day. On board with Season 1 champion Rob Evans. Just had nowhere to go in a cloud of smoke. Lastly, on board with Seth Cole, 2 straight weeks of a DNF. Tough end to his day. Getting ready to go back racing. We'll have 26 laps to go. Everyone's going to have to pit one more time. Logan York is your race leader. Out of the race, Vince Freeze, James Ellison, Fitzwater, Rob Evans, Seth Cole, Jesse Turner, Ace Rogers, Lucas Catano, and RJ Bishop. 23 cars left on the track. Baranowskis is one of them, and man, oh man, that did not look good. I'm sure Ellison's going to have something to say about this. Looking through the rest of your top 10, Rowe in second, Keith Rich third, Chung fourth, Yepes fifth, Liliera sixth, Andrew Rich seventh, Kev Shear eighth, Richard Johnson ninth, and Sameta Oskin is 10th. Last week's winner, Zorlin 15th, second place runner-up, Zach Flickinger 14th, Shelton in 12th. Seth Cole, by the way, we saw he had hit the wall going into turn 3, and that is why he had been behind the field, but still didn't help him avoid the accident. Green flag is back out, and we are back underway. See Shearer and Oskin, the first ones to make a move out. Chung and Shelton, the next two. Chung will go right to the inside of Keith Rich for third and clear it. But a crossover from Keith.
Yeah, to restart the inside line works because they're not as up to speed as there is some 3 wide back there. We're trying to sort that out.
So Logan York, he had to fight tooth and nail on that first stint to do something to get the race lead from Alexander Rowe, and now it's looking like he's inching away here on this first lap. As the 99 of Charles Sanford has taken it to pit road, he will fall a lap down.
Tough break for him, but this is where, because of that single file restarts, I think things are going to mellow out for a little bit, and now you can start to see the pack will start to constantine up after 2 or 3 laps. Tire wear, that's important too. I think pit stops with that caution, that could be a big change at the end of this race if you want to pit later for less fuel.
Yes, indeed. Will it be a 4-tire call, or will it be a 2-tire and less fuel call? That'll be the big thing to watch. As the fuel window, I think, will end up being, or the pit window, rather, will end up being about 25, 26 to 28. Sanford back on the track now in front of the leaders. He looks like he is relatively up to pace. So just an issue on pit road. Don't look now, but Allison Liliera is coming up for third place. See, Andrew Rich has faded here. Outside of the top 10 now, along with Richard Johnson.
Out for the lead up front, though. I think Rowe peaking.
Yes, indeed, he is. Alexander Rowe looking to take the lead back.
Watch this run for York, though, on the top. Liera is going to follow with the York. Yep, and now the outside should prevail as they go into 1. Now they're up to speed, and the drag is starting to come into effect.
York with the run down the straightaway. Liliera looking to maybe make it 3 wide. Behind them, they are 3 wide. That was Sam Young on the bottom. And he cleared both Peter Onjak and Keith Rich.
Watch York into the tunnel turn, man. He does it again. Look at this specialty move as Kev Shear goes for third. Exit a little bit tight there from Rowe, a little bit tight from York. Kev Shear's going to draft up high, but York clears. A little slide job.
York clears, and now Kev Shear is going to the inside of Rowe, looking for second as Oskin is looking for fourth behind. Sam Young continuing to move up through the running order.
See Kevin, new player to the mix. I think the inside line will be a little bit tough, but he should have enough of a run. I think Rowe learned from York to watch this crossover in a tunnel turn.
Big run from Alexander Rowe. Will the move come here in the turn 2?
Gonna push Kev. That's a smart move. Get the draft.
Oskin will get 4th place from Liliera. Sam Young stable in 6th. Onjak in 7th. Chung down the 8th. Keith Rich side by side with Dylan Young for 9th. As Oskin now looking for 3rd from Alexander Rowe. So Rowe under attack from every angle.
Going to stay up top. Yep.
See Allison playing with the draft as Kev Shear is going to make a move for the lead on York, and he will take it.
He's going to let him sail. Now, what does York do? He's been good with the specialty move, but it could happen again. Or does he say, hey, let's see what Kev's got out front. Let's see where his strengths and weaknesses are, and then attack later as pit stops are looming as Oskin goes for 2nd.
Not much of a run for Logan York there, as Oskin will send it on him for 2nd place. Alexander Rowe, man, I don't know if they were able to do anything on that pit stop or if this is just how fast his car was, because he is starting to fall.
Yeah, I think now it's all about just mechanical grip and tire wear. I think these packs are going to start slimming out unless we start getting battling heavy at the front. And yeah, Rowe is falling like a rock.
Now under fire from Sam Young. Peter Onjak right behind. Young and Onjak will clear Rowe. Rowe trying to fight back. Onjak, I think, will close the door. Meanwhile, though, Richard Johnson still 13th, Shelton 15th. Sorlin has fallen to 18th place. Has been unable to go anywhere in this one.
Starting to get a battle for the lead. Yep.
Battle is on between Oskin and Kev Shearer. Halfway through this one, we'll have 19 to go this time by. And new race leader, Samet Oskin.
Now Oskin will take his turn. Kev will do a little Pruitt fade to the inside.
Oh, contact
he
there.
Shoves him. He shoves him. Good run for Oskin up top, though. Watch this run.
Really good run, and York will follow behind. Liliere will go with Kev Shearer here. Nope, back to the 33.
Switcheroo.
But preferred line in turn 2 is definitely on the bottom.
What a run Kev got through that center of the corner through the tunnel. He's going to go underneath Oskin for the lead in a 3.
Incredible racing here today from Pocono. These drivers are giving us quite the show.
Yes.
Liliere looking for 3rd, but I know what you were going to say there. Top 3 battles side by side there, Vince.
Yeah, Noah's Ark, man. Now, watch Oskin here. He's going to let him have the corner, and Kev's going to send it in. But does he get the run up top? We'll find out.
Is Oskin able to fight back against Liliere? It looks like he will. Liliere will check up. Onjak, though, will clear up in front of York. Now York back over to the inside. Peter Onjak, the one thing Peter has never done on this channel is win a race. He's looking to get it done here in the V8 Supercar Challenge instead of waiting for Jerky Pro. If he can get up there, Oskin and Kev still fighting it out. And the pit stop window is looming.
Definitely get up there. I think the drag is coming into play. Now start to get in line. I think Kev will have a nice run. Oskin will send it. It's about just the crossover here as they all start to get in line now.
About 2 seconds of fall off, and we're seeing a lot of moving around, and that's, I think, what caused the first accident. Hoping that they don't cause another one. Liliere having to check up again there. Might open the door for Onjak, but no. York to the inside of the 55.
Peeking again. There's the move for York.
See, William Brock has faded from the pack. Not sure if he scuffed the wall like Seth Cole did earlier. Lilliere starting to close the gap. Donovan Cage has come up out of nowhere, and now he's in the top 5.
We know how good Donovan Cage is at intermediate style tracks. He can definitely get it done for sure.
Seen a lot of moving around as Shearer will go to the inside of Oskin one more time. But he will have to check up quite a bit here. And I'm noticing with the tire wear, it feels like the runs are getting bigger because these drivers, they're keeping it in 5th gear.
York's going to send it underneath, I think, at Lilliere. If Kev gets the run here, nope. Kev just gets a little bit tighter and he washes up the hill.
These drivers have not caught Charles Sanford. Sanford running about the same times as the leaders.
Good push by Cage to York.
About 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds of fall off now. You got to think whoever pits first will come out as the leader. But will they want to be the leader on an undercut at a track like this?
I think when pit stops, we're going to see like 2-3 packs, I think, of small cars. Understand the draft will be critical. Understand tire life as well. Now Kev Shearer will tuck in line. I think he checked up a little bit, so he'll wait till the tunnel turn if there is a move at all.
Kev riding behind Oskin. Lilliere 3rd. York trying to take 4th away from Donovan Cage, or rather keep it from Donovan Cage. Dylan Young side by side for 6th with Onjak. Sam Young is 8th. Rowe is down to 9th, and Yepes rounds out the top 10.
Still keeping it cool right here. Kev Shearer's playing. Lilliere's getting a little trapped. They're battling for 4th. Now, this is a chance for the top 3 to run away. We know pit stops for Lillian with 14 to go. And how much fuel consumption? Oh, Flickinger! That's big.
Flickinger back there off against the wall as well. Looks like he slid it through the corner there. Brock's going to get a run on him here. No caution. So nobody went around.
The move for 2nd. Lilliere underneath Kev. I think Kev should have an outside run, but I think it's going to be a full send. Yep.
Lilliere with the full send looking to take 2nd place. Anytime now, these drivers are going to start sending them down pit road. Oh, look at
Cage.
Donovan Cage with a big send. I think he's the first one to
grass.
pit road. Donovan will make the undercut move. And he'll be the first one to pit here at lap 27 to 28. Now, how will the rest of the field answer that?
Big run coming from Dylan Young. He'll get into this top 3 mix for sure. Look at this run. Kev Shearer underneath. This could be big for 2nd. And you don't want to play these games, especially. It's very tight entering pit road, coming off of 3.
Who is going to bring it down the pit road this time by?
Someone while they're swerving.
Not seeing anyone here looking to pit. Nobody at all. Donovan Cage is back on the track by himself. It was a 4-tire pit stop for the 29.
Here sends it in there. He'll back off a little bit. Dylan Young gets a nice run up top, goes a little fade. Allison's going to get a nice run to this top 3 as well, off the outside. I think the biggest thing, Zach, here is, do you want to be by yourself? Do you want some friends, especially with an outlet with draft means so much?
Man, Kev was looking to the inside of Oskin, and Young was doing the same thing to Kev. Young backed out, let Kev make the move. Rain now to the inside of Young through turn 3.
Nothing yet.
Oh, Richard Johnson's going to bring it in. Perhaps these cars can go longer than we thought, and a different bit of strategy play going on here.
And Brock back in there as well. Now we got a battle for the lead. Noah's Ark for the top 4. Austin's going to get a nice run up top, though. He's got a teammate, too.
Dylan Young will be helping him there in the draft. Both cars with a big run. These cars are at 3 seconds of fall off. Donovan Cage lap this time by, I'm sure, will be in the 51s, but Oskin holds on to the lead. Kev Shearer trying to fight back to hold on to second.
A little snapshot. We got some Coke, Pepsi, Red Bull, some light.
Here we go. Pit road is about to open up here, come into 10 to go. Dylan Young will stay out, but it looks like everybody else is coming to pit road.
Rich Johnson did.
That time by 51.6 for Cage. Richard just came out of pit road. Look at the distance from him to Donovan.
Donovan Cage might get the lead here.
So Dylan Young will stay out one more lap. What is the strategy call going to be? Is it worth it taking 2, or do you got to take 4 to answer Donovan Cage? I think Oskin took 2. Nope, he took 4. They're taking 4. 4-tire pit stop. Everyone with a 4-tire stop. Oskin's the first one off, then it's York. Kev, Peter, Liliera gets shuffled back.
Look at Brock.
Brock pit early after being so far behind. And that's a factor there. That's an effect of everybody pitting together, Vince. It stacked everybody up. That just helped Brock a ton. Sanford has yet to pit as well. But Donovan Cage is gone. Dylan Young to pit road. Long pit stop for Christian Vargas. Not sure if he had damage from somewhere.
Cage is out by 6 seconds at least. Excuse me, maybe 8.
There goes Dylan Young. Cage down into turn 1. Oskin will have second easily. Richard Johnson up to third. Kev Shearer 4th. York 5th. Young only falls to 6th. Likely going to lose that here to Onjak, who's in 7th. Actually, no run for Onjak as Young was coming off a pit road going through the gears. Rowe is in 8th. Liliera down to 9th. And Sam Young rounds out the top 10. So Brock, good rebound from, I believe it was 23rd up to 11th now. See both the Mercedes cars together here. Zorlin in 16th. Derek Hamill. But Donovan Cage has the lead here at 8 laps to go. 6.3 seconds. Oskin, though, gained 4/10 that time by as Charles Sanford now makes his final pit stop. And he'll be out here right in the middle of Cage and Oskin.
Now we're going to come down to tire fall off, buddy. That's it.
Yeah, the question here I think is going to be is, I think Oskin needs draft. He's going to need some draft here.
We got a wreck.
Someone wrecked, but there's no caution.
Oh, boy.
And it was Dylan Young. Oh, boy. Dylan Young got turned. I'm going to guess it came from Peter Onjak because the 55 is down outside the top 10.
What a mistake by Peter.
Well, we will have to look at that after the race. The gap is already down a second. Oskin got draft off of Charles Sanford. That is really hurting Donovan Cage.
Sponsored Coca-Cola cars are starting to work together. Yeah, you can see they're closer. This is going to come down to catching's one thing, passing's another. I think if I'm Oskin, you stay, drag the brake a little bit, and use a little 2-car tandem in a way to get up there.
Well, and I know you say that, but it is about a 3-lap difference here on the tires, and you can see even a 1-lap difference, Oskin is pulling away from Richard Johnson.
Oskin looking really good so far.
Gap is down to 4 seconds. 1.4 seconds gain that time by. Remember, Cage has no draft, so he's got no help out here to hold this gap. Dylan Young brings it down the pit road and calls it a day. Charles should be able to get by him for position, so that'll send Dylan Young finishing 23rd. So a tough break for Young. And for Peter Onjak, now down to 15th. Be 5 laps to go this time by. Donovan Cage is a sitting duck to Samet Oskin. Richard Johnson is on 1 lap older tires to the 22, so he is not going to be able to close the gap here. 1.2 more seconds there for the 22 that time by. And Kev Shearer and others not closing as fast.
I think it's going to these guys are just drafting. That's it. All it's going to take, and once they get there, I think Donovan Cage can do nothing but block. All he has a shot doing to 3.
I think it's going to coming to 2 laps to go, Vince. I think he'll be caught here coming to 3 to go, but I just don't know if there's anything Donovan can do to hold off Oskin aside from blocking him to the point of he'd have to get wrecked.
There's only one thing he could do, is he needs to hope that Oskin goes in the inside of 1 and he does one of those crossover moves, but even then it's going to be hard. He needs to get a crazy outside run, and it's down to 1.7.
4 laps to go. Kevin York got it down to 6 seconds now. They are still 4 seconds behind Oskin, and I'm surprised that they came out that far behind the 22, man. What a pit stop for Oskin.
I think the outlap too. The acceleration on cold tires is key, and one of the things about these cars, you get accelerating quicker with a little draft. I mean, you're in good shape. You got lucky with Sanford right there. Now it's within about 0.8.
Regardless, though, a great move from Donovan Cage. Try something different. 3 laps to go. And the gap's down to half a second. I think the move will come this time by. Cage is starting to see some of that draft now, but you can just see how much Oskin can send it into the corner compared to the 29. Richard Johnson has been caught for 3rd, actually passed for 3rd. Goes Kev Shearer onto the podium. How about a rebound for Liliera here, up to 5th. She's been hauling. And here's the move. Here's the move through the tunnel turn. And I just don't think there's anything Cage can do. You can just see the difference there under braking. Sanford, who's 3 laps down, will go by with him. Race leader, once again, is the 22 of Samet Oskin.
Yeah, hauling it, but I don't think he's got enough time. I think this race is kiss goodbye.
2 laps to go. Kev Shearer's got it down to 4 seconds, but I don't think he'll have enough time to even challenge for 2nd place. You can see Cage waning through the corners. He's going to get a little draft here, but it's only going to help him for about a lap, but that could be enough to keep him on the podium. So Allison Rain has yet to get by Richard for 4th.
Nonetheless, like you said, great run for Donovan Cage off of strategy. We saw with Flickinger last week, 2nd place. Strategy is becoming king early in these Paramount races. Is Jonathan Zorlin looking for a top 10. Wow, what a rebound for him.
Zorlin here late looking for a shot at the top 10. He's got Keith Rich, Jessica Shelton, and Diego Yepes right in front of him. Alexander Rowe, good rebound too, in 7th. Richard falls to 5th. The gap from Cage to Oskin is a 2nd as Sanford is all over the bumper of the 22.
He's got to play it cool here for Oskin down the backstretch one last time. It's been a great day. A lot of changing parts. We saw York and Rowe. We looked like the early favorites, but they waned off, and now it's into the tunnel turn one last time for the Coca-Cola Ford of Samet Oskin.
We had Jonathan Zorlin, our defending 2-time Cup champion, win the first race. And now, as Oskin will leave the door open for Charles Sanford, it looks like our 2020 Cup champion is going to win the 2nd race. Does that mean Liliera will win at Richmond? Oh, we'll find out next week. But Samet Oskin gets it done here at Pocono. Donovan Cage will hold on for second. Liliera will edge out Kev Shearer by a couple thousandths for the final podium position in third. Logan York, great day for him in fifth. Alexander Rowe, sixth. Richard Johnson, seventh. Diego Yepes, eighth. Keith Rich, ninth. And Jessica Shelton rounds out the top 10. The results are official. Let's take a look and see what happened to Dylan Young and Peter Onjak. This happened when Dylan Young was on his outlap, so tires were not yet heated up, but check this out. Young gets jacked up off the track, and then Onjak Tokyo drifted it into turn 3, never went fully around. And so we stayed green, but that killed Dylan Young's car and any chance Onjak had at a top 10. But as you know, your race winner from this afternoon was the driver of the 22 of Sameto Oskin. We will see y'all next week at Richmond. 2 races down, 6 to go.
I know.